What up, Bradford?
Well, I'm feeling good.
Are you feeling good?
I'm feeling good. Today was the first day of the rest of my life, really.
Are we gonna jump into like this was your first day? So, okay. All right. There's a lot to unpack here.
Okay.
But we're gonna get into it. But you committed to me
Yes.
a certain amount of time, which at the end of that time frame, what we're doing now hopefully won't end. That
Right.
you can continue to stay on somewhat of a regime that works for you in your life.
Right. So this is,
Right.
we talked about this before the start of the year as, kind of a New Year's resolution kind of thing. But then we had so much fun to have in January that we pushed it to February. And we have Port Chuck in 20 days. And we want to have some fun that weekend. So we're like, 20 days. It's 20 days.
20 days, you can accomplish a lot, right?
Oh, I know.
So,
I plan to.
So I put you on a program, a protocol, whatever you want to call it. We're not going to get into crazy details, but I did map out all your food for you and your exercise.
Yes.
That will constantly kind of change. We're going to keep an eye on it because I want to make sure you feel good, that you have enough energy, that you're not, hangry, because there's no reason to. I have a little different philosophy than my wife.
Sure.
It's similar, not exactly the same. So she's doing, she has a group of ladies right now. She started today also. So I go,
cool.
Oh, Bradford started today too. We're going to see.
Me and the ladies. Here we go.
We're having a competition. So, but so far, because you already asked me a bunch of questions and we broke down your macronutrients, which is your protein, your fats, and your carbs. And you have to be within a certain macro range. And the biggest pain in the butt for people is counting and figuring out those macros. That's truly where the science lives, is in those numbers, right? Like people will do Weight Watchers. They come off, they'll gain the weight back because all they're telling you is, hey,
calories.
This is 1 point, 2 points, 0 points, but they're not teaching you for you what works, right?
Sure.
There's not one program that works for everybody. It has to be individualized. And doing what I've been doing for 25 years, 30 years, what I want to do for you is get something that's sustainable, that can continue on, and that can be flexible.
Right.
Right. So that's really what it is. I want it to be easy for you. So you can, if you have a day where you're not hitting your calories or something, it's not going to be that big of a deal because you've been on track for 2 weeks or whatever it may be. Right.
Or maybe there's like a week where I go on a trip with somebody and we're touring the country.
If we go on a trip, we'll definitely be at Whole Foods that whole trip.
But
because we did start. Go ahead. I'm going to let you talk. So go ahead.
Because that's what I was looking for. Like I've not had a regular routine for a while, and the routines that I did have were not necessarily thought out. And but I'm very grateful. Like I've been able to maintain decent shape over my life, with not a lot of swinging back and forth.
Sure.
But I've never. I think I don't know if we talked about this on this pod or on the mini pod, but the best shape of my life was I got in when my wife was pregnant, which was the most insensitive thing I've ever done.
Hey, honey, you keep getting bigger. I'm just going to keep getting smaller.
Well, and that's fitter.
Nice.
Like I was like, right. I was doing one of those Beachbody programs, and and which is, for my schedule now is completely unsustainable. Like those workouts are 90 minutes long.
Yeah. You don't need 90 minutes.
And that's the thing.
I've never worked out for 90 minutes in my life.
Yeah. So anyway, but also that had a nutrition component, but it was an extra book that I didn't want to read.
Sure.
Do you know what I'm saying? And also I didn't think about it as much.
Yeah. It's very daunting. That's why people get coaches, dude, because my wife, when she first, we've always kind of known what to eat. And it wasn't until she went to an expert right after McKenna.
Yeah.
That she totally was like, oh, I get it. And then she started studying more. but she needed that push in the right direction too. Right. So
Sure.
not that you're going to become, a nutrition consultant or whatever it is,
No, I'm definitely not.
but
Definitely not.
you'll know what works for Bradford.
Right.
Right. And that's what the most important thing is once you get the results that you want. I always tell people this, because there's a lot of ladies who have lost a lot of weight and then they'll gain it back. And I've had talks with them and I'm like, you've already been to the mountaintop.
Sure.
Like you've already been there. So you know how to get back. Yeah. Like once you get to your goal, you'll always know what to do to get back there.
Blueprint's right there. Yeah.
The blueprint, right. You're laying we're figuring out what your blueprint is right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm 40, gonna be 42 years old this year. And I've been, I don't have the greatest habits, but the one thing that I've been able to do in my life is kind of maintain moderation on most things.
Yeah, that's good.
And so therefore I don't have too many bad things to break. Yes. I just need to build in some better things and find out going forward, this is the time. This is the time to make sure I got it right so that I'm not sitting at 65 going, oh man, I wish I'd done better over these last 20 years.
Totally. And that's true because look, we all get the kind of, hey, we're young in our 20s and can get away with things. Right. And then things start kind of slowing down in the 30s and 40s, whatever. But, resistance training for men and women, and that doesn't mean for ladies to get huge muscles because it's harder for them to gain muscle than guys because of testosterone. But for guys and women, resistance training is truly, and good nutrition, it's the number one anti-aging thing is resistance training.
Oh, interesting. Well, I resist the bottle on a regular. I'm trying to resist it more.
You're going to be resisting the bottle.
Does that count?
It counts for your mindset. And that's no joke.
For sure.
Right? Because you're going to have to go without, but it's only going to make you stronger in the long run. And the mindset is the other component to this of, hey, you got to be prepared. Like if you're going into a new program or protocol, you got to be prepared that, okay, I'm going to buckle down. I'm going to do this for the next 20 days. That's why the pork chuck date was a good date for us.
Oh, for sure.
Right? Because I'm like, look, dude, just give me 20 days. See how you feel. See what you look like. Take your measurements. We did all that stuff. You weighed yourself, measurement, all the pre stuff.
Right.
We got done. And now we're just daily going to look at what you're eating and how you're feeling and adjust it every single day if we have to.
And then in 20 days, Wood Ranch and 3 bottles of Camus.
Well, you can have that. That's fine. Because Wood Ranch isn't all that bad of a cheat. So
okay, all right.
you're still eating barbecue, you're still eating chicken, you're still eating steak, you're still eating good stuff. So
do we count sodium?
You don't want to be too high in sodium.
I know.
Yes, we will count sodium.
Okay, well, because I was making eggs this morning.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, do I put it? Nah, I'm not gonna put any salt in it or anything like that. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, you don't want to add salt.
Because I put vegetables in. And I put vegetables in and I was like, oh yeah, this just taste the vegetables. And that was fine. And also I'm not sure if you folks are finding this conversation interesting, but this is stuff that Steve and I would talk about on the phone if you guys weren't here.
Yeah.
Thinking about when I exercise in a day, it's easier for me to think about food as fuel versus days where I'm not working out, thinking of as food as pleasure.
Sure.
And it's because in that day where I've exercised or whatever, I feel more goal oriented. And so what I eat is part of that goal versus when I'm not goal oriented, eating is like just a, obviously a necessity, but also just like, oh yeah, it's time to eat sweet. What am I going to have? You know what I mean?
Totally.
And so that it's a different mindset for me. And, and I can think about it as fuel. Like I don't want to consume stuff that is, but thankfully I like most things. So.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the biggest trick of, looking at food as fuel as opposed to pleasure.
Right.
Right. Of course you can eat things that are pleasurable. We do all the time.
Yeah.
But it's fuel first.
Yeah.
Right. And then the pleasure part is a treat.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say it's a reward, but I'll eat super clean all week long. And then Sunday brunch, I'll eat whatever I want for Sunday.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. And then I'm back on track Monday.
Yeah.
And it's great and it
Yeah.
works, you know?
Yeah.
So a lot of it is mindset. We know this, but your mindset's already there and it's just going to improve your discipline and other things and your mental clarity and all the great things that come with eating properly and exercising, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And the health benefits, obviously. So I'm excited, man.
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited
psyched.
too. Like it's there. You know what's great about it is I don't have any like anxiety about it. I don't have any like dread about it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know? It's like, oh man, that's no. I'm excited, and because I know exactly what we're doing, and I get it, and I'm
Good.
like, yeah. So anyway, so there's that, and also,
yeah.
And speaking of rewards, at the end of that 20 days, not only do we get Wood Ranch and 3 bottles of Camus, but we get to hang out with Brandon and Scott again.
Yes.
So that is super exciting. So you guys may remember back in October, we did a Port Chuck concert over on Patreon, and we're doing one again in February. We're tentatively calling it Love Songs with Port Chuck. You know, February is a month of love, and we are looking to spread some.
Yes, for sure. And we're going to have a great time. I think I'm going to do a brand new song. I know you guys still have some in your pocket, but there could be some new ones from them too. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
We'll get, once we get on Zoom and we'll talk about this stuff, but there's a ton of options for us and it's so exciting to get back together again and do this again.
Absolutely. This is a weird time to bring it up, but one of the I know that sounds like I'm going to bring up something very uncomfortable. I'm not. Well, actually, it kind of is uncomfortable.
What is it?
We put out a reaction video to the very first Magic Milo dance.
Yes, we did.
And I was a part of that, dancing, a lot of partner dancing with Max from Dancing with the Stars. And if you've watched the video, if you haven't watched the video, please do, because it was really fun to revisit that and watch Steve squirm. But I mean, one of the things is we couldn't use the song because of rights, and the video would have got blocked. But don't worry, we fill it with plenty of reactions. But one of the comments below the video, and this is not like a mean tweet section. This is just it was one of my favorite things that I've perhaps seen. So we post this video on YouTube, and go to youtube.com/stonecoldandthejackal to find, or go to youtube.com and search Stone Cold the Jackal. And but anyway, under that video, someone put, "Those moves are why Bradford has kids."
I know, I saw that.
So let's unpack that a little bit. Okay. Because the first thing that I appreciate that, because it means that she appreciated my moves.
Yeah, you had some moves. You had some moves, dude.
The other thing that's kind of assumed in that comment is, if I was a terrible dancer, I wouldn't have kids, nor anybody that loves me.
That's true. Well, I think she meant it in the positive way of,
I think so too.
She saw your gyrations.
I mean,
and right. Who wouldn't want the jackal at that point?
Well, there is. Thank you.
I mean, who wouldn't want?
There is one moment where I kind of like spin out, and then I kind of just do like a body roll, and I'm like, "Oh, that looks like I got some moves."
Yeah, you had some moves, dude. You were definitely number 3 in the pecking order there.
Appreciate that. I know you really want to keep me in that order.
Well, dude, you're in the top 3.
Yes, it's pretty good. Out of
it was good.
What,
was
7?
Really hey, it's better than 7th. Don't make me go 4 through 7.
Oh, fair enough.
But I'll be happy to.
Yeah. Well, so as you can tell, we had a lot of fun stuff going on. We got a lot of fun stuff on our YouTube page. We're about to maybe have our first guest for reaction videos, which is something you should all look forward to. So be sure to go to Stone Cold and the Jackal, our YouTube page. You can get there from our website, stonecoldandthejackal.com. Sure. And make sure you subscribe, because that makes sure you don't miss out on any of our fun videos.
Yeah, we're trying to give the audience, you guys, people are really loving the reaction videos.
Yeah.
So we're trying to give more reaction videos, and then we're going to have a guest reacting to their own work while I'm constantly peppering them also. But we won't be too mean. So it's going to be fun though.
No, we'll be appropriately mean.
Correct.
Yes.
Well, dude, you know what? It's fun. It's fun because the first guest, I'm like, hey, it's cool because we get to.
You're already thinking of it. I love it.
No, dude. It's so I call this person. I can't tell you who it is. I call this person and I go, hey, we're me and Bradford been doing these reaction videos. We're going to watch something of yours and have you react to it. And then I told him what we were going to watch. And he was like, oh, I actually really love that. I go, what? Amazing. I said, perfect.
Amazing. So, that's exactly what we want.
It's going to be amazing.
Yes. It's tremendous. That old show that we're on, General Hospital.
Yeah. And you're coming back. I mean, you worked last week, you're working this week and the week after, right?
I don't know about the week after yet, but I read the stuff for this week. And maybe you know more than I do.
Well, I know we have scenes together, so that's cool.
At the end of this week?
Yeah.
So you know, some of the things that you guys have been waiting to come to a head are doing just that, and that's really cool. And the storylines are great. Mike Tendon Bar is fantastic.
Is it? I don't know, man. I've been seeing a lot of mixed reviews on this one.
And do you think that's simply because they just want him back, or is it not?
I think one of the big loopholes is that how far, like, first of all, I don't even know the story. Okay.
Fair enough.
Okay. I know that he fell in the river. He floated down somewhere. I don't know how far.
Right.
Okay. He gets out of the water, doesn't know who he is. This is all I know from just what I hear in the building.
Raises a couple questions for me already. Yes, go ahead.
So, right. So someone goes, hey, what's your name? And he goes through his watch. Oh, my name's Mike. Okay, great. So you're Mike. And then we don't know anything else about the person.
Sure.
So, and apparently the cops found him. The cops have been involved with Mike already / Sonny multiple times. And he's like, I don't know who I am. Like, wouldn't you do fingerprints?
Sure.
Or and go, oh, hey, you're the #1 mob boss in America.
Right.
I mean,
well, and that's the other thing is like, chances are he's been in the papers. Like,
right.
He's how far downriver did he go? Because if he's in the metro,
is he in Georgia?
Well, that's the thing. If you're within 30 miles of Port Charles, they're going to know who he is.
Yeah. I mean, is there a river that goes from Port Charles to Florida?
I don't think the Mississippi makes its way up there.
Is there a way? Can you go over to Lake Michigan or Erie and come back down Mississippi somehow?
Yeah.
I mean, because I don't know. You got to go 2,000 miles away where someone doesn't know you.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Right. And for him to watch. Yeah. So, I mean, the situation of him is very cool, but obviously it does raise a lot of questions.
Yeah.
But that, suspension of disbelief, right?
Come on. Everything's, you have to let things go on a soap opera. Sure. I think the idea is cool that he gets to be somebody else and not know and figure things out and piece things together. So, so that's cool. But otherwise, I want him back.
Oh, well, of course. Yeah. How is Jason holding up?
We're doing okay right now because we're pretty busy with Cyrus and Cyrus's mom.
Right. Are you blaming anybody for Sonny's demise?
No, because I saw the bridge collapse.
Right. And that was a Julian thing, right?
That was Julian. Yeah. So the bridge collapsed. We can't find him. But now that he's gone, we have to show strength. So Carly kidnapped the mom. So Cyrus can't do anything to us because he's worried about his mother.
And she is still in Carly's captivity.
Correct.
And who did Carly get to watch over this fella?
Bobby
Spencer.
Mom.
Amazing. And Bobby's still just full speed ahead with the plan. She's
doing it. Yep.
Great. Are they playing bridge or something?
That's a good question. That or shuffleboard. I don't know.
All right. So we're reading through these recaps here. I see Tracy here, which is awesome. She was so great in the podcast last week.
She was amazing, Jane Elliott.
I hope you guys enjoyed that. Well, Our Patreon folks have already seen the full video, which is pretty useful because, as you imagine, Jane's not just her verbal responses, but her like facial reactions to the dumb questions we ask is so specifically Jane Elliott that
awesome.
and little clips of that will probably come out on YouTube.
But what a career too, huh?
Oh my gosh, dude.
I mean, like talking to Ken and Leslie and Jane and people who were kind of a part of the studio system.
Yeah.
The old Hollywood system is so cool to learn that stuff, and it's like, yeah, go ahead.
Well, what's amazing to me is, because when I got into this business, I didn't get into this business to be rich and famous. I got into this business to do theater in New York and have a good life doing theater. I didn't think about TV, right? But that life doing theater is a middle-class life. You're not in the top 1% by any means, right?
Sure. Yes.
And what it and I was okay with that. And it sounds like the studio system back then kind of geared itself towards that kind of life. Like, maybe you could go on and become a movie star, but they're going to pay you this much a week. You're going to be going from show to show and like, what an amazing creative existence. And there's security in the fact that you're getting a check every week, but you're not getting rich off it.
No. And you're doing multiple projects a year, right? So
yeah,
the odds are with you that something's going to pop.
Sure.
Right. And then you're going to get that bump on your next contract.
For sure.
Right. So it's kind of cool in a way.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not you're stuck with one storyline or one chance and then you're out there again.
Right.
You're working constantly. You're getting better as an actor. More people are seeing you. Then you might be in one movie that's a huge hit and you get a nice raise and you keep doing that the next contract.
It's almost like an apprenticeship in that regard.
It is. It's great. I think it's an awesome system.
But the thing is now, like, there's just, since geography is not an option, you can send a tape from anywhere.
Sure.
The business is such that they're not looking to groom the next generation of actors. They're looking to find the next big thing in their inbox. Right.
Yeah. And that's usually like a superhero movie.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Or, the prestige for either casting directors or agents or whatever to break the next person.
Sure.
Is, they're not looking to find someone that has talent and develop them. They're looking to find.
No, but I guess the other side of the coin of that is you're doing a lot of, now there's more independent films and there's more ways to watch things. So someone goes, hey, there's an indie. This is awesome. Now this person's a huge star, like Mark Ruffalo, for example.
Yeah.
Right. He did an independent film. I can't remember what it was. And then that broke him. And then he did Last Castle when I did Last Castle. And then he went on from there. Right. So it's like, at least you have that option now. I don't think you did in the studio system.
Sure. You had to.
I think they monopolized the distribution and they'd had all that in their back pocket.
Right. Yeah. I'm not saying one is better than the other. It's, because obviously I'm sure there were so many barriers, of course there were so many barriers for entry to people of all sorts back then, obviously.
Of course.
But that way of developing your craft is cool.
Yeah.
Is all I'm saying.
Sure. It's like a minor league farm system, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So to talk to those people that were a part of that, most of them obviously towards the tail end is fascinating. And, because for Jane, I don't think I'd ever Wikipedia'd her, Right. So, to see all those credits and, obviously the ones like the Elvis movie that, and hearing the stories about that, because being on a set with people is, if you're able to have that kind of camaraderie is pretty incredible. And so to be a principal with Elvis and Mary Tyler Moore is an unbelievable experience.
Dude, listen, Mary Tyler Moore is great, but you're talking about Elvis Presley. Like, you hung out with Elvis Presley for
months. I love how she talked about, she's like, I had my like the quote unquote, like fun group. And then the quote unquote, like talk about mom stuff group.
Sure.
But so I don't know, like I can imagine that young, confident Jane in that scenario. And it's just kind of fun to think about,
Absolutely. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So fun.
All right. So looking at these recaps here.
Oh, you're going to test me?
Well, just.
I'm the wrong guy to test, but go ahead.
Okay. So we're recording this on a Monday. So we're looking back at last week. How's Franco doing?
I don't think he's doing better.
Jason grills Franco as to why Dante would try and save him.
Yes. So what I know is Alexis goes after Franco. Alexis is drunk.
Nice. Moderation, Alexis.
In the hospital. She does something. I don't know what happened. Franco made her mad or she freaked out. She went to grab a needle to stab Franco.
Good choice.
And Dante jumps in and gets stabbed instead.
Oh.
Right. And it wasn't the COVID vaccination. So he gets stabbed. And that's what I'm grilling Frank. I go, why would anyone try to save you?
Save you? Why would anyone try to save you?
Right. So why would I go, of all people, why would Dante try to save you? Like, why? So that's where I'm grilling him.
Okay. All right. And did you get any good answers?
0.
Oh, shoot. Franco reveals he's made arrangements to have himself killed at the first sign he's reverting back to evil Franco. Did he use that term? I wonder. Are you that plan?
Yes, I'm that plan. That's when he asked me in the floating rib. He said, if I start doing things like the old Franco, can you take me out?
Right. Is he going to write a letter to say, I gave Jason Morgan permission? So you don't get arrested.
Well, no one's going to know. The whole town knows apparently. So, but
right. He's telling everybody in the hospital right now.
I know. And Elizabeth knows. She yelled at me too.
I was going to say, she's not going to be too thrilled about that.
No, she yelled at me. Supposedly Jason's very good of not leaving any evidence.
You don't say.
That's what I hear.
In the invader office, Jason walks in on Peter warning Britt not to come between him, Maxie, and his child. And Jason asks why he's threatening his sister. So
yeah, I don't know if I asked why he was threatening his sister, but first of all, I don't like Peter. We all know this. And somebody
that's
posted,
weird. I love him.
Yeah, somebody posted, dude, I gave him such a death look. It's amazing. So, because he says something about Franco, I thought, and I go, and I say, we're not friends. And then I walk out and he goes, Jason, blah, blah, blah. And I go, whatever, dude, I'm going to kill you. But I'm not going to kill him. But anyway, so.
Somebody's got to. I nominate me. So is Dante going to be okay?
I think Dante's going to survive, but I'm not sure.
All right.
I think he'll die of hair first.
He'll suffocate. He will
too much. Yeah.
Suffocated by
he's going to be like Cousin It on Addams Family in about a week.
Nina puts the 2 heart necklaces together and they fit. She's ecstatic. And Michael returns and Nina questions him about the cabin that Avery found the necklace at. Okay. Nina asks Jax if Nell could be her daughter. I thought Nell was Nina's daughter. No, Nina. Yeah, Nina.
Yeah.
I thought that she was already the daughter.
I'm not sure that was public information.
Oh.
So
Nina asks Jax if Nell could be her daughter. That's big news.
That's big news. So I'm thinking like maybe the necklace had something to do with it because I don't know.
Sure.
Like the 2 pieces fitting.
Right.
Maybe that's some time. I don't know, dude. People are going to be like, these guys are so stupid. They don't watch the show. They don't know what they're talking about. And I don't, but Nell could be. All right. That's recaps, everybody, from Steve and Brad, sponsored by
Nobody.
Sponsored by
man.
Everyone says that segment was great. Said no one ever.
Said no one ever. Well, we liked, it's fun to read the recaps because, we tend to get, it's always fun to stay up with what you're doing.
Sure.
And, you know, and we don't get full scripts anymore. So it's fun to read the recaps. And since we don't see them film those things, and yes, we are not regular viewers of the show, which we've explained why, many reasons, many times. It's good to keep up. It's good to keep up. But now we're getting into some storylines where all of us are kind of involved a little bit together, which is nice.
Yes, it's great.
Because that doesn't happen as much anymore.
Right.
Yeah. And that's what I used to love about my character, is that I was never just, yes, I spent a lot of my time with you and Sam and Maxie and Sonny, but because I just, for whatever reason, they put me with a lot of other characters.
And that's what they did. That's what my character does. Right. So I'm never just when I go to work, I'm never just in one set and done. I'm always, I am at the hospital, or I'm at Sonny's place or my place, and that's fine. That's great. I'm kind of the guy who roams around.
It's great.
So
awesome. It keeps it much more, you know, it keeps it interesting, and having multiple, you know, getting to work with a bunch of different people is always so satisfying. Yeah. And, you know, so, hey, we got great jobs. And, yes. We got to talk a little bit about, I know we talked about Pork Chuck, but it's going to be on Patreon. If you guys haven't gone over to Patreon yet, you can check it out at stonecoldthejackal.com or patreon.com/stonecoldthejackal. We're doing all kinds of stuff over there. When I say all kinds of stuff, I mean all kinds of stuff. Yep.
And we're doing concerts. We're doing holiday parties. We're doing 80s parties, 70s party. We did a GH trivia party, pub night trivia. And Pork Chuck is going to be the third weekend in February. We're going to have a blast. So get over to Patreon now and check it out.
Well, and the cool thing is if you join us, we every month we do virtual hangs on Zoom, right? Mm-hmm. We do multiple Zoom meetings, so that you'll see all these a lot of other actors doing these Zoom hangs, right? Zoom appearances, right? Since we can't go on the road, people are doing Zoom appearances now, which is fine. But we do that every month anyway on Patreon. Right. And this month, they're the last weekend of February. So if you join us for Pork Chuck, you will also be there for the Zoom hangs. So
yeah, and you can cancel Patreon anytime.
That's right. So if there's something that you like this month, like Pork Chuck, you can join. And then if you feel like hanging out for the next month, you can. And if not, you can say see you later. So it's a way, like I know people always have questions about it. What's cool about it for us is that there's no tickets involved then. Like, you know,
yeah, it's just easier. Like we're doing so much content and we wanted a place for it. This is the best platform for us to do what we're doing. And we're having a lot of fun over there. It's a great community, and we could be putting more stuff over there too. So we never know. So just go check it out. And we're looking forward to seeing you on Pork Chuck night.
That's right.
Love songs with Pork Chuck.
Whoop, whoop. So thank you guys for another week here on the podcast. We will be back with a guest next week.
Yes, we will.
And thank you all for everything. And if you haven't been to our website, stonecoldthejackal.com is the best place to jump off to everything else.
Yeah.
So
thanks, guys.
Have a great week, everybody.